Back in 2012, Chase Jarvis made the now infamous statement, "The best camera is the one you have with you." And while I've grown weary having heard that over a million times in the past 8 years, there is a certain amount of truth to that. And I intend to prove that today with this. The Sony, I literally have no idea what this camera is called, but it's a $30 point and shoot that I found on eBay. So what kind of specs do you get with the Sony, this name here? Well, it's a compact camera, so I'm gonna guess it's probably a 1/2 sensor. And looking at the mode dial, it has a manual mode for photography, a program mode, and a bunch of scene modes and a movie mode, which sounds promising. But it's not, actually. After perusing the movie mode, I see that there are no manual controls whatsoever, but there is a feature called smooth background, so I'm guessing that means it shoots with the widest possible aperture, but we'll see. Now, having no manual controls in video mode, I want to film some of this indoors so that I can have control over the lighting. I'm going to be filming with these little light panels right here, plus just the under cabinet lights. I want to be able to keep the ISO as low as possible because obviously these small compact cameras with a 1/2 sensor, they're not low light cameras by any stretch of the imagination. The other thing is I'm going to be filming a lot of slow motion and I want my shutter speed at 1/125th of a second. Now, that's not possible without manual control, but at least with brighter lighting, you can kind of get the camera to use a lower ISO and a faster shutter speed. Otherwise, if you're in lower lighting, the camera's just going to choose a shutter speed that's way too slow and an ISO that's way too high, and your footage just is going to look awful. Anyway, having said that, let's have a look at this little camera in action. Wow, for a little compact camera that costs 30 bucks, I gotta say, that footage is actually okay. I mean, this camera's actually smaller than a phone and has a sensor that's not much bigger than a phone sensor. You know, and I think that's kind of the point of this whole video. As photographers, videographers, filmmakers, whatever, we're all artists. And the whole point of being an artist is creating art. And the camera is just a tool to help us create that art. But the problem is society's getting so out of balance that we're more focused on the camera itself and less focused on what we're actually creating with the camera. You know, and for me, I think that's kind of the point that a video like this serves, is just a reminder of it's not so much what we're filming with, but how we film it and what we actually come up with in the end. You know, for me, I would much rather watch a passionate person who films everything on a phone than a pretentious douche who has dumb ideas and films everything on a $20,000 cinema camera. The art itself is what actually matters. The camera is simply a tool, a means by which to create that art. I think sometimes we get so caught up with all these new releases and all this stuff that we kind of lose sight of that. Having some sort of dumb little challenge like this is just a simple way to remember, oh yeah, it's just about having fun. It's just about creating a cool little video. Anyway, I think that's all I've got for today, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time.